Hey, what is up, church? Thank you so much for being with us today. I hope you've been enjoying these daily devotionals. I have a question for you. Have you ever needed help or been in a desperate situation, but you didn't quite know how to ask for it? I'm reminded of a time where it was the winter time and I had a stump in my yard. We had cut down a tree and I had some branches and I had a stump, and I said, what's the best way to get rid of all of this? Well, in my mind, it was to burn it. So I began to make a little brush pile in my backyard. And now we lived in a subdivision. This is not like I have a ton of space in the country. This is in a subdivision in my backyard, in my fence, and I light a fire. Well, everything's going great at first until the fire begins to spread because the grass is dead. And now I have a wildfire on my hands. The grass is beginning to burn. It's getting a little bit out of control. I'm trying to stomp on it. I was in flip-flops. It's not working. So I run into the house to grab a towel. Now, I do not know what I was planning on doing with the towel, but my wife sees me and realizes that something's wrong. She goes and she gets me a fire extinguisher, and I use the fire extinguisher. It still doesn't put it out. Finally, my wife has the smart idea of going in the front yard, getting the water hose, bringing it to me in the back, and I was able to put the fire out. But it's one of those things where I was in desperate need of help, and thankfully my wife was there to see me and come in and help meet a need. And that's what we're going to talk about today in today's verse. Let me read our passage. This is Psalms 34, 15 and 18. It says this: "The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil. He will erase their memory from the earth. The Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all of their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." And so what we have here is we have King David. And King David is in a season of his life where he's been anointed to be king. So he has a calling of God on his life, but yet he's being chased and persecuted by King Saul. King Saul was the king at the time, but he does not like David. And so he is traveling around the countryside trying to find David so that he can end his life. So David is actually writing these words from a cave. And I want you to think about this, that we go through seasons and situations all of the time that are tough and filled with trouble. Sometimes it can seem counterintuitive, the fact that, well, wait, I'm a Christian, I belong to Christ, but yet I still go through difficult circumstances. And this passage kind of gives us a picture in how God sees that. It says this, that he watches over those, that he sees those, he hears those who he loves. And what I want you to understand with this is, man, when you go through things and you feel unseen, you feel unloved, you feel unworthy, that you have a God who sees you and cares for you. Notice what it says, that those who do evil, that God actually turns away from them, that he will erase their memory, that God's not helping those who do evil, but those that do good and are trying to live for him, that he's there for. And I love this right here, this promise that, he goes from hearing and seeing to getting involved. It says that he rescues those who are in trouble, that he is close to the brokenhearted, and that he rescues those who have a crushed spirit. So what I want to encourage you with today, that if you're going through a season, maybe you're like me and you felt like your world was on fire. You just feel like you got fires everywhere, that you're just in a panic. You're running around. What do I do? What do I do? I want you to know this, that God sees you, he hears you, and that he is going to come to your rescue. That God is going to come into your situation, that he is going to bring comfort. He is going to bring peace. He is going to bring purpose. He is going to bring joy. King David, even in the cave, running for his life, he understood that his God had not abandoned him or forsaken him, but that his God was close to him, and that ultimately his rescue would come through the hands of God. And I want to encourage you with that today, that don't give up. Know that you have a God who loves you, who is for you, who sees you, and is there to rescue you and to be there to comfort you when you are going through a tough situation. Well, we love you so much. Thank you for being with us. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day.